Hello, we're diving into a couple examples of how to use the math function in HighLevel. So, if you're anything like me, I looked at the math function in HighLevel and I was like, why in the world would we need this? I couldn't think of any use cases to actually utilize the math function. Then, as I started kind of diving deeper, I started to see certain areas where it would be super helpful to just update different data that we wanted to collect across our account. So a couple examples for you would be calculating the number of offers someone has purchased from you. So you can use this to update a custom field with how many offers someone has purchased from you, so you can really see and gauge who are your super users, who are those super fans that are constantly buying what you're putting out, and create a plan to either reward them or interview them or do something of that sort, so you can kind of pick their brain and say, hey, what made you get to this point? You can also use this for things like sending out appointment counts. So if you're someone that is running like a high volume sales business, or you have it take a ton of calls and have like a sales team, you could very easily set this up so that it would update a custom field based on how many appointments someone has every single day, and then set that number back to 0 every day at midnight. And you could even hook a Slack notification into there, so they get a Slack notification saying, hey, you have 6 sales calls appointments today, and the next day, hey, you have 3 sales calls appointments today. So anything that uses a number, essentially, you can very easily utilize the math function to update and take away from that when actions are happening inside of your HighLevel. So one example, we're going to use a use case of a coach. So most coaches that people have are going to have various types of coaching packages. So let's say, for example, they have a coaching package that contains 6 calls, one that contains 12 calls, and one that contains 20 calls. So they're going to need to be able to track how many calls this person has actually booked with them. How many coaching sessions have they actually booked with this person? So that's what we're going to do here today and build out based on this use case. So we're going to start with a trigger as far as and this isn't going to be like an onboarding or whatever, so that has to be in a separate workflow. But we want to, oh, what's that? What is this? This is new. Okay. Well, we might have to dive into that one here. So we're going to dive in and make this on an appointment status is confirmed. We like to use confirms, so it's a normal event. This is going to be appointment status. I'm going to make it confirmed. You can kind of filter this however you do your calendar setup. So we like to use confirmed because that ensures that, hey, we're actually going to have this appointment. And then you want to use your calendar group. So for us, I'm just going to say it's a 1-hour consult. Say someone booked an appointment for a pack of 5 1-hour consults, and we want to be able to track that. So they went ahead and booked this. It's been confirmed by us. So that is going to be our trigger. Again, you can customize that for what your parameters are for booking. From there, we're going to go ahead and use a math function. So math operation, what we're going to do here is I would create a custom field. And right now I'm obviously going to say how many funnels do you have. And then what we're going to do here, you could also use a custom value. That's fine as well. You can really use either for this purpose. So we're going to go ahead and add 1. So every single time someone books this appointment, they're going to go ahead and add 1 to that field. And then we'll update the field. How many funnels do you have? Beautiful. So what that's going to do, that's literally going to select this field, add 1 to the value, and update it right here. Save. Okay. So that is kind of part 1. Once this is done, what you can also do, that's all you really put in here, because what we don't want to happen is you add in a wait step, and then what will happen is the next time they book an appointment, if they're in that wait step, they won't be able to circle back through and it won't update. So you don't want to put any wait steps in this. If we want to take it a step further, We can even say, when this happens, we're going to send a message to a channel, a public channel, in Slack, and say, contact custom fields. I don't know why it's not letting me put their name in there. That's odd. Insert a contact just booked. Let me check this again. Account. Contact. Nope, it's only letting me do custom fields. So you can send a message and say, hey, da-da-da-da-da. Someone is booked. A contact just booked an appointment. And then go ahead. They now have scheduled a total of, and then you would insert custom field, appointments. And there you go. Obviously, again, not sure exactly why that is not letting me see the actual contact name. I'll have to double check on that. But that's just a quick example of what you can do. And then you can actually duplicate this same thing too and say when appointment type is canceled in this calendar, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to subtract one from the exact same custom field. That way you have two. One is adding when they confirm an appointment and the other one is subtracting when the appointment is canceled. That way you're not getting that kind of recycle of, it's not getting messed up in between based on cancellations. I'd also do one for reschedules as well, just to be sure that it's staying at 0. But that's how we're going to kind of use the math function and a couple ideas to utilize that inside of your workflows.